This is going to be my quarterfinals tactical preview between Doran Gaming against DRX. This is a repeat of the LCK Summer Split Finals, and I think it will be interesting to note what are the cards that both of these two teams are bringing to the table. Now, I'm going to make this simple. If you don't want to watch through the rest of the analysis, after rewatching the games, I do think that this is going to be a 3-0 for Doran. If you want to find out why, tune into the rest of the video. Now, Dragon X so far they haven't shown all too much, right? They've shown this meta style where they try to facilitate a carry jungler, and PO6 seems to be one of the better performing members on this team alongside Chovy. And as a result, the team tends to play for him in the early game, whether they enable that through the bot lane or through the top lane. It's kind of flexible. And the mid lane game assignments, and then the mid game lane assignments is going to be playing on 3 lanes into a single lane, which is something that G2 exploited in last year's World Championship. And if you were to watch their games, they have some very serious issues when setting up for neutral objectives, be it bringing the right amount of manpower to start things up or being able to control the chokes. Doran, on the other hand, are a much more complete package of sorts, where they have two strategies that they've shown so far. The first is when they play Tusafit and Camille, and they play this in a rather competent way. This is what they showed in the majority of the summer split, and this is what Doran has always been known for, playing strongly, heavily towards the top and mid side of the map. So this is a lane focused strategy. They facilitate this through mid and top, and they are able to execute on 2 lanes first and then play into a 1-3-1 to then force the opponents to choose between defending either side of the map. And given how important that taking team fights on objectives is, despite this being a 1-3-1 team composition, they have time after time been able to use the Tusafit ultimate or use intelligent flanks to be able to find good engages onto teams. The other strategy is the meta strategy, where they facilitate cannon in the jungle position, and due to how strong the players are, it's kind of inflexible. We haven't really seen a clear bias for it just yet, as they showed this mostly in the play-in stages, sorry, not the play-in, the group stages, where the players weren't tested all that much, and as a result, Cannon pretty much had a free reign to farm whichever side of the map that he wanted. As for the mid-game lane assignments, once again, rather coherent, but it's not clear to see if this is an exploitable setup while they are playing on 3 lanes. Most of the time when they do want to contest things, especially when they're running with such a strategy, they are already ahead enough to a point where it doesn't really matter, and the opponents can't really find windows of opportunity to engage on them despite them playing on 3 lanes. But once they are in position to set up for neutral objectives, they know very clearly if they are the front to back composition or the flanking composition, and they know how to respond to the opponents going for flanks as well, having a good setup on zone control on the neutral objectives. So to revisit the last time these two teams played in the LCK finals, this was a 3-0 by Doran, and in the first game, DRX drafted a big type composition where they needed to take a lead in the early game. So there's 2 ways they could have done this, either by snowballing Drakes, but because they drafted a Pyke, they were not able to do this, as Pyke is not able to push out the bot lane against Caitlyn Lux, and as a result, DRX will have to give over the first Drake, and once that goes over, you can't really snowball the Drakes fast enough to fork your opponents on the soul point or the Baron. And on top of that, DRX, they were playing for big type composition, and they had the wrong priority on objectives. Throughout the series, Doran Gaming, when it was their turn to execute the big time composition, they knew very clearly they wanted to give Drakes and play for Rift Herald instead. DRX, on the other hand, they played for Drakes, despite having to give over the first one, and as a result, they were not able to create the tempo lead and use their Rift Herald accordingly to create the map pressure by the Renekton and the Assassins to create manpower advantages to snowball their team composition ahead. And as a result, by the time the third Drake came around, the on scaling came online, and DRX was not able to win fights anymore. The second game saw Doran Gaming take the pick side of the matchup, and they successfully snowballed that through using Renekton Nuguri very effectively. Every time you would see at 8 minutes, the Nuguri would go over, pick up the Rift Herald, and instantly bust down the top lane turret, be it through the threat of a roam from the Syndra, or simply just coordinating well with Renekton enough to burst down the opponent top laner and take the turret. In this game, the individual skill difference was very apparent in the skirmishes, be it between Doran and Nuguri in the top lane, or in the later stages of the game, where despite Damwon taking what I think is, objectively speaking, a bad fight, where they're engaging with less people into more people, they still come out ahead due to individual mechanical differences. The third game is a bit more indicative of the problems that DRX has. Once again, Downward Gaming, they have the big composition, and DRX, they are playing for neutral objectives, where they have a weak side top laner that can use the stand united in the form of the Shen to contribute towards the bottom side of the map. Now this is the moments before the disaster screenshot, where what we see is DRX, they have control of the river, but they do not control the choke point, allowing Damwon to simply walk in. And the moment Akali has success and is through the choke point, she goes in and cleans up the team fight, stealing the Drake, killing the Lilia, and from there, Damwon simply snowballs this game to a victory. So the problems with DRX, bot lane, in terms of the draft, it seems that they're not putting themselves in favorable positions to be able to reliably push out the security style stacking drakes that they seem to prefer. Top lane, individual differences, is setting up for Nuguri to really get a lot of mileage out of Rift Heralds, and DRX, they do not have a drill or they do not have a response prepared to either stall out or match the Rift Herald play that Damwon will likely be going for should they try to play towards the top side of the map or go for their 1-3-1 composition that they like so much. And as a result, I do think that there's too many problems for DRX to win even a single game in the series, and this should be a simple 3-0 for Damwon Gaming. And that kind of wraps it up for my quarterfinals tactical preview between Doran Gaming and DRX. If you like this type of content, please do like this video and consider subscribing to my channel. I will be doing content for Worlds every single day, and this type of previews will be done for the rest of the playoff matches as well. This is Jensen, and I hope that you enjoyed this video. Get hyped for Worlds.